In the incessant noise of our modern world, the experience of true solitude has become a rarity. Our minds are under constant bombardment, saturated with a never-ending stream of information, intrusive thoughts, and digital distractions that pull us away from our inner selves. However, history suggests that being truly alone might be the most powerful catalyst for transforming one's life. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai and philosopher, lived by this conviction. He spent the vast majority of his existence in solitude, using his isolation not as a withdrawal from reality, but as a laboratory for perfecting his martial art and refining his profound worldview. In his final work, the Dokudo, translated as The Path of Walking Alone, Musashi left behind 21 precepts intended to guide an individual toward a life of absolute self-reliance and fulfillment. By exploring his philosophy, we can discover how the disciplined embrace of loneliness can fundamentally alter our own lives. To understand these teachings, we must first look at the man himself. Born in 1584 during a period of brutal civil war in Japan, Miyamoto Musashi was a revered figure, a ronin, and a masterless wanderer. While he is most famous as a peerless swordsman who remained undefeated across more than 60 duels, his legacy is not one of mere violence. He was an artist and a philosopher whose life was marked by a relentless pursuit of self-dominance through extreme discipline and dedication. For Musashi, solitude was not a monastic existence far removed from the physical world. Rather, it was a mental loneliness. This was a self-imposed state of mind where the external chatter of society was silenced, allowing for deep introspection. He advocated for a clear mind, free from the heavy burden of distractions, as the only true path to personal self-improvement. Musashi's philosophy emphasizes that solitude is not a means to isolation, but a vital path towards self-discovery. He believed that in the absence of others, one could sharpen the mind and body without interruption, reaching a deeper understanding of one's own nature. In the silence of solitude, he found a clarity that was freed from the influence, expectations, and judgments of other people. It provided an opportunity to reconcile with his own strengths and weaknesses without the external noise that so often clouds our judgment and distorts our self-perception. In the Dokudo, he famously wrote, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply into the world." This was an invitation to direct focus outward to observe, learn, and understand the universe while maintaining a humble sense of the self. By eliminating the ego, one opens themselves up to the vast knowledge that the world has to offer. Applying these ancestral teachings to modern life requires us to embrace the value of self-sufficiency. Musashi formulated these perspectives just 1 week before his death, distilling a lifetime of wisdom into a guide for moving forward alone. One of his primary lessons is to avoid seeking pleasure for its own sake. This serves as a vital reminder that happiness derived from external validation or material possessions is fleeting and can not lead to lasting satisfaction. Instead, we are urged to find contentment within our own actions and personal growth. Furthermore, Musashi highlights the importance of emotional independence, advising us to never depend on biased feelings. This principle encourages us to avoid acting impulsively on transient emotions, but to instead contemplate our actions reflectively and consciously. By detaching ourselves from physical possessions we no longer need and staying true to our own path, we can navigate the modern world with the same formidable spirit as the legendary samurai. Miyamoto Musashi's Dokudo provides a timeless map for navigating life through the values of introspection, self-sufficiency, and detachment from the superfluous. His advice on letting go of unnecessary attachments extends far beyond material possessions. It encompasses relationships, habits, and thoughts that no longer serve our higher purpose. By clearing our lives both physically and mentally, we create the necessary space for growth and transformation. Furthermore, Musashi's precept to not fear death is not a call to recklessness, but rather an encouragement to live fully and bravely. It serves as an impulse to treasure every moment, recognizing that death is a natural part of life and that we must seize opportunities as they arise. Finally, he urges us to remain detached from constant desire, which frequently leads to dissatisfaction. Instead, we should strive for personal improvement while remaining content with what we currently possess. Although the modern world is vastly different from Musashi's era, the value of solitude remains immense for personal growth. In an age where technology connects us more closely than ever, these constant links can often prevent us from experiencing true solitude. To implement Musashi's lessons today, We must prioritize regular periods of silence, whether through meditation, nature walks, or simply sitting quietly to allow ourselves the space to think and reflect. Practicing a digital detox is another essential strategy. By disconnecting from our devices, we affirm our independence from the constant demands on our attention and foster inner peace. True solitude, however, is more than just being physically alone. It is also a mental and emotional state. This requires detaching ourselves from the need for external approval and the urge to compare our lives to others. It is about standing firm in our own beliefs and decisions, even when they go against the crowd. We must view solitude not as a luxury, but as a non-negotiable necessity for self-understanding. By differentiating between loneliness, a state of emotional distress, and solitude, a positive state of self-engagement, we can learn to thrive in our own company. Solitude does not require us to live like hermits. It simply requires intentionality and the willingness to embrace the discomfort that often accompanies personal growth. In conclusion, Miyamoto Musashi's life and teachings remind us that the path to self-mastery often requires us to walk alone. While choosing solitude in a hyper-connected world may feel counterintuitive, it is a powerful tool for transformation. By pushing past our boundaries and stepping out of our comfort zones, we can find lasting satisfaction within ourselves. As Musashi demonstrated, the journey may not be easy, but discovering the power of being alone can truly change your life.